All right, today we're working on assignment 008, graphing linear equations. And just to review, when you look at this number here, this is the slope. So just label it on your paper that this negative 4/3 is the slope. And then this number right here is the y-intercept. And so this is where you start. You start with this number here, that the positive 4. So you go to positive 4. And then you use the slope. Since it's a negative slope, this is the rise over the run. So since it's a negative rise, it's going to go down negative 4 and then over 3 to the right. So we're going to go down 4. We're going to go from here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to end up right here. And then the run is 3, so we go over 3. 1, 2, 3. Put the point right there. And then you just draw a line through those 2 points, and that's how you graph them. So if we were to try this one here, the y-intercept is 5, so we'd start at 5. This time, however, the slope is positive. It's positive 1 over 4. So when it's positive, you go up. The rise is 1, so you go up 1 since it's positive and go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right there. And then we just draw the line connecting the points. Hopefully your line looks a little bit straighter than mine. You can try these two on your own. Remember that when it's just x, the x is just 1. So it's 1x. And when you have 1x, 1 as a fraction is 1 over 1. So the rise is 1 and the run is 1. So you're going to go up 1 over 1. So if you start at negative 2, like this one, the y-intercept is negative 2, then the rise is 1 and the run is 1. So you go up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1, and then you just connect those dots like so, and that's your line. If they only give you the intercepts, remember that this is the x and this is the y. So if the x-intercept is negative 4, we go to, here's x, so we look for negative 4 on the x, it's right here, and the y-intercept is also negative 4, so right here, and then you just connect the lines like so. So you should be able to do all the rest of 6, 7, 8 on your own. I'll let you try that. And then there's these problems here. When y is negative 1, that means you go to negative 1 on the y, which is right here. And that means that no matter what x is, y is always going to be negative 1. So you could just draw a straight line that goes along the negative 1 right here. And then when it's x, if it's just x, you go to where the x is. So here's x. We go to 3 on the x. And that means that no matter what, x is always going to equal 3, so the line's going to go up and down like that. So if you ever have something that's just an x equals 3, it goes an up and down line, and if it's like a y negative 1, it's a vertical line, and it just goes straight on the line like that. When you have problems like this, 5x minus y equals 1, you have to get it into the regular format to graph it. The easiest way is to put it into y equals mx plus b. And in order to do that, we got to move the 5x over to this side. So we subtract 5x from both sides. So we bring down, this is a minus y, so we bring down the minus y. We can't do 1 minus 5x because this has an x and this one doesn't have an x. So you could just leave it as negative 5x plus 1. And the last thing you got to do is just to get rid of this negative, you divide by negative 1. Divide everything by negative 1. And then now you have y equals a negative 5 divided by negative 1 makes this positive 5, and a positive divided by a negative makes this negative. So that's your answer, and when you graph it, you start at negative 1. And since the slope is 5x, 5x is the same thing as 5 over 1. So that means that this is the rise. You go up 5 since it's positive, and the run is 1, so you go over 1. So from here, we're going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. And then you just connect the dots. Hopefully your line is straighter than mine. So go ahead, you could try number 12 on your own. When you finish this assignment, go ahead and ask Mr. Cam for the assessment.